so today we're going to learn how to do hatch patterns, and we're going to use them to basically make a floor finish plan. So for those of you who have me as students in the fall semester, we're working on basically a small house in one class and a kitchen project in another. So this is going to be for our small house project. So if you're here on the landing page, you want to make sure that you're clicking right here on your small house to open that up. And you're going to do a double click for that. So, and then you should see your project navigator pop up. And again, confirm over here that you're in your small house project. If for some reason you're not, what you can do is go up to the red button up here and kind of force it open. So you go to open and then project, and then you're going to navigate to wherever that project is and double click on the red icon. So I'm already there. I don't want to undo what I've got. If you need to navigate to it, you'll see this not bolded, double click on it. It should then turn bold, and then you will see the project navigator come up here. All right, so first of all, we're just going to open up the view that I have. We're going to go here in constructs. You're going to open up your base house plan, and we'll kind of just talk about that for a second. All right, so in here, so as we've been working along, you have all your bathrooms done, you have your kitchen and appliances in, you have your furniture. That's all great. So here in the construct, we're going to do the bulk of our drawing in this file right here. But for the floor finish plan, we want to clean some things up a little bit and have basically we're going to turn our furniture off. So to do that, we're going to go over to the Views tab. I already have one here, but I'm going to make a second one for this demo. You're going to go down here to the second button in here and pick Add View. And then you're going to say Add a General View. So you're going to call this Floor Finish Plan, basically what I have over here. I'm going to name it Floor Finish Plan 2, just so we can keep them separate. Say Next. It's going to be the first floor. Say Next. Then you're going to unclick at the top here, scroll all the way to the bottom, and then pick your base plan. Now, if by some reason you're still in your kitchen project, this is where you're going to find out that you're in the wrong project. So you're going to have to kind of stop this process, go back up here, open up the correct project. But right now we are on our house plan. It's going to pull that in for me. So finish. One of the things before we go that we talked about in class that we caught is way down here under the scale. A lot of you have the default at an 1/8 of an inch. We're going to click on it. So here we're now in the base plan still. We're going to make that a 1/4 inch. Now I'm going to go over here and open up the view plan. So double click on that. It's going to look virtually the same. So we're going to zoom over in here. I'm going to make this now, see where it's the 1/8 inch. I'm going to click on that, make it a 1/4. This is ultimately the scale we're going to print things out on. Now, to hide your furniture, you can do two things. You can go way up here to layers, and there's basically the freeze button, and then there's the light bulb. They function pretty similarly. So we're going to use the freeze one for this option. Click on freeze, and then you're just going to click on your furniture, nothing else. So what we talked about in class is a lot of these plans are going to be shared between different trades folks. So the person putting in your tile needs to coordinate with your plumber. So you need to keep your bathroom things like your toilet and your tub on. Same with putting in flooring. You're going to coordinate somewhat with the person putting in the cabinets. Chances are they're going to lay floor all underneath here and then maybe put the island on top. But they actually might put in your cabinets first and then lay your flooring up to the edge of your cabinets. So it's going to be a conversation that the trades folks need to have like with each other. This plan is ultimately going to be used for people to basically measure and estimate and give quotes for how much, say, floor or tile you need. But ultimately, say in a bathroom like this, a good tile person is going to come in and measure this all out, or at least come in and view it and understand what's going on, so that they're going to talk with you, the designer and the client, and everybody's hopefully going to be on the same page for that. All right, so the way we're going to add hatch patterns now. So this now is all set up for us to draw on it. So the first thing we did in class 2 is we went back here to our def points. So I'm going to go up here in the layer. I'm going to put this on a nice bright color other than that white. So you're going to double click that button there to bring up basically the layer editor window. I'm going to go over to def point, going to double click, going to put that on like that pink. All right, so we're okay for that for now. All right, so first thing we talked about is basically outlining the rooms. So then we're going to use those shapes to fill in with a hatch pattern. So let's just do it quick with def points, and then we'll talk about how we switched things up a little bit and brought in a different line type. All right, so tracing a bathroom like this, I'm just put it on polyline. So make sure you're on polyline. I have ortho on and I have snaps on. I'm going to start in the corner of my room. I'm going to come over here. Now, in class, we talked about we're not going to outline all the doors. That's a bit of an older style when you would hand draft this. Here in CAD, oops, as I'm talking, I realize I'm not on the right layer. So hold on, let's get on def point. So here in CAD, what happens is if we were to outline all of those sections, let me go back to polyline, make sure I got that. It kind of blows the mind of the computer trying to hatch going around these shapes. Because see how if we went around it, we kind of come back to this point. That makes it hard for the computer to basically paint in the hatch pattern. So we're going to, for now, go around and over the doors. You can kind of crop them out later, and I'll show you how do we do that in a minute. Here in class, we talked about you do not tile under the tub. So I'm not going into the corner here. I'm going to cross the front of the tub. Then we're going to go over here. Now it gets a little funny with the toilet here. So what happens is in reality, the trades folks are going to tile underneath your toilet. However, we need to make it easier for them to read this plan and see the toilet and where the toilet is going, because there's generally going to be a pipe that's going, taking your water flow out of the house. So they need to be able to understand a little bit more easily where this tile is or where this toilet is happening on the plan. So you're going to trace around the toilet for now. So we did in class talk a lot about different exceptions as people kind of got into the weeds of drawing this. I'm also going to go across here. Potentially my vanity might go all the way to the floor. Not sure for some of you if you have pedestals, we'll talk about that too. I don't think many people did. All right, but right here, here's the shape to outline this room. All right, so then one of the things we did next is we're going to hatch this, but we also want to have a special line type style for this hatch. So in class, what we did is we jumped over, and let me bring up my folders. Come on. There we go. So under downloads, you had, oh, sorry, I just clicked it like 3 times. Under downloads here, we have these elevation line weights. So you're going to open that up again, and we're basically going to steal line type from that. So this, basically this final, like third from the top line right here, you're going to click on it, Control C. We're going to bring it over to the floor finish plan, Control V. All right, so right now, if you click on it, the line type is A elevation thin. We just want to rename this right now. What I explained in class is this acts as a very nice, sharp, fine line. So this is a good kind of drawing tool for our floor pattern. So we're going to go back up to the layer types or the layer editing right here. So it's that button right there. I'm double clicking. And then you're going to scroll all the way to the top. So this is A elevation thin we just brought in. You're going to right click. You're going to now rename it. So it's about 1/4 of the way down. And this, instead of A elevation thin, we're just going to call this A floor finish. And that's the style we're going to use throughout our drawings today. So easiest way to do this is you're going to have this border here, which we actually want to print. So we're going to say match properties, click on that, and there's our kind of like new line type that we're going to use in here. All right, now to hatch, basically we just type in the word hatch, and then you've got to pay attention to what's happening in the command line down here. So if we picked external points, it would get a little crazy here on our screen. Mine is already kind of defaulting to pick an object. So you're going to see down here, pick an object. So I think it's S for select object. So you want to put that option in. Actually, let me kind of revert it out and we'll start that again so you can see it because I've been doing a lot. All right, so here, see where it says S select object. So you want S to select an object. Then you're going to see this little square for your mouse. You're going to click on the shape now you've just made, and it's going to paint it in. So right now it's default filling it in on the def point layer. And if you see when we click on it, so right, for most of you, it's going to be pink. You're going to hover over it, left click. Once it's selected, it's going to light up blue. And then it opens up this kind of like command drop down where there's other palettes and other things to color it in with. So if we change it to solid, it's actually, well, that didn't really work. Kind of made it solidly light. All right, so we're going to click on that. Let's try this guy. So this one, you can see the difference. It's now squares. Obviously the scale of this is really wonky. All right, so together we all kind of created a sample like this, and then we kind of took a tour through hatch pattern. So I'm going to do that for you now. So while it's lit up like this blue, you're going to right click and say hatch edit. And that's going to open up this whole kind of command center here. So all of the libraries are hidden here under this swatch part. So where you see swatch, left click on the little picture right there. So the little purple picture. All right, so there's several options here. So this is predefined. Some of these we talked about in class, like AR concrete, means it's for concrete. But when we look at it, it's like dots and little triangles. And a lot of times we use that to show granite. So in our morning class, when you're drawing your kitchen elevations, you could use this hatch to show me your countertops, to basically color in your countertops. You've got herringbone. That makes a pretty nice tile pattern too. AR sand is often used for carpet. So there's a couple of kind of oddball things in here. Gravel, I think I talked to Christian where she was doing a stone wall. This is an option for that, but these are kind of more like boulders. They're very circular. I've used this pattern, say, in like fireplace walls and things like that. Honeycomb, this is actually a pretty popular style of tile, both floor and wall. So you can play with this a bit. So there's all of these options. Then you go to this custom one and there's a ton more. So you have to kind of click on the pictures and sort of work your way through and look as you're learning how to do this. And if you show me a picture of a tile pattern, for example, I can help you find what would be a pretty good approximation of this because I've been using these patterns for years. But let's start with something like this. Like this would make, where'd it go? The running one. Let's see. Brick running. That's what I want. There's one there. This is a pretty popular layout for tile now, like wall tile. So maybe this would be your backsplash. We looked at a few of them together in class, but then we scrolled all the way down to the bottom to the W's for wood. This is where we're going to get our wood flooring from. So wood here, this is kind of like a shiplap sort of situation. This is more, again, wall batting board, like on your wall, like beadboard. Now here's where we start to get in flooring, this wood's board. So there's this one that's kind of skinny. There's the wider one, and then there's a wider one with nails. So if you're planning a hardwood floor, then that's going to be what you're going to use. Then farther down here, it's this wood 5 pattern. Oh wait, no, this one's, again, if you're showing kind of like knottier wood, but there's one that we use for marble, this one. All right, so woods 2. A lot of time you can blow this up and make this look really nice. And when I say blow up, just enlarge it. You're going to use this as, say, for example, if you have like a wall of marble, like a backsplash in your kitchen, you could use this, like if you're using a product like Cambria. All right, so for this bathroom, I'm going to go back. Let me show you one more. There's some more patterns here in ANSI. This is how we get squares. Let me show you this one. We have to play with this a little bit. So I'm going to say, okay. Right now it's on the scale 1. I know that's probably way too small. So I'm going to pick 5 and say, okay. Oh gosh, it's still super small. So we're going to click on it again, right click and say hatch edit. And this time I'm going to pick like 25 or something like that. Let's try that. Actually, you know what? I'm going to try 50. We're going to do 50. All right, now we're starting to look like normal size tile in here. The other trick to this is if you want a grid, you're going to right click on this, hatch edit, and let's see, there it comes. So the angle for this guy to make it a like horizontal perpendicular grid is 45. So we say, okay, and there we go. Now we've got a grid. So this now we want to have it on the green layer. And basically what you're going to do is, oops, hold on, timing out as I talk there. There we go. You're going to work your way around the house. So the things that we talked about, your bathrooms must have tile. They have to have that to protect themselves from water, any kind of, overflow of the bathtub, things like that. You can also have tile if this is your mudroom. That's another good idea, especially if we're here in the Northeast. Your bedrooms, you could have, and like this is a bedroom down here, you could have a carpet or you could have hardwood. So again, you're the designer. Think about how you want to do this. Know that whatever material you pick in your closet generally is going to also flow. I mean, whatever you pick for your bedroom is going to flow into your closet. So if it's carpet, it'll be carpet all through here, carpet in this closet. If it's hardwood, same idea, hardwood here, hardwood through here. Now for this section, again, you would pretty much have the same material all throughout this great room. So I'm going to pause the video trace it, show you some of the tracing techniques before I'm done, and then show you how you basically cut out if you have an island. So let me pause that. We'll kind of catch up to it. Actually, it changed my mind. You're going to watch me draw it because there's a couple folks who are out of class, so they might need a review of this. So again, I have the snaps on, I have ortho, I'm on polylines. I'll do this kind of quick as I narrate. I'm starting in the corner here, going all the way up here. I'm going up to here, then up. Now, once I hit this, like, I think this is my dishwasher, I'm going to take snaps and ortho off, and I'm just going to, again, really roughly kind of trace around it. And then I usually put my snaps and my ortho back on. And now I'm going around the corner here, and I'm going here, and I'm going to keep snaps and ortho on and just kind of do a rough kind of around here, 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 up around the handle of my fridge, I guess that's what that is, around there, down, over here. Whoops, oh, I actually got a little bit too high there. I'm going to show you how we can fix these after the fact too. So then I get all the way down to here. Okay, so this is now my border of my kitchen. Now, if you need to fix stuff, if you look at here, it's got little handles, so I can just pull it up like that. So things like that are pretty easy to fix. While I'm here, I'm going to also outline my islands. I'm going to take a rectangle, and I'm just outlining my island like that. All right, so now we're going to do wood. Now, before we go, I'm going to put all this stuff, this border on this nice green layer. I'm going to leave this one at def points because that's fine. All right, so we're going to type in the word hatch. And now again, we're selecting objects. So it's defaulted to selecting objects down here. And it's this little square icon. So I'm going to click on here. Now it still defaults to whatever that first one was, these like diagonal lines. So I'm going to click on it. So it lights up blue, right click, hatch edit. This time I want to click on the swatch and I want to go to custom and I'm going to go all the way down to wood and I want wood boards and I think I'll go with the nail ones just so you can see them. So I'll go okay. I forget how the scale of this guy works. So we're just going to click okay and see how that looks. Oh, it's really dinky. So like, again, if this was barn wood, it would not be that small. So we're going to say hatch edit. This time I'm going to change the scale to about 5. Let's see what happens. Okay, that's pretty good. Now, one of the things we also talked about in class is, if you don't know real world sizes, check with me, but we can also kind of do a quick math on this. So if we go from here to here, that's like a 9-inch wide piece of wood. That's actually a pretty standard size. So that's pretty close. So we're going to leave it at that. I'm going to match the properties not from here. So if I match properties from here to here, I'll show you what happens. It turns it into the tile. So I don't want that. I want to get match properties from up here from this little line, like that's like my palette, and then click there. All right. So right now, though, it's running underneath the island. So again, to make it easier for the trades to read this, we're going to treat this like we did with the toilet. We want to have it blank here so people can see that there's cabinets here. So the way this works is you click on this, right click, come on, right click. Oh, it's paused. There we go. Hatch edit. And then what you want to pick is this add select objects. Here over on the right where it says boundaries, you're basically giving boundaries to the hatch pattern. So we're picking the second button there, add select objects. And then it's allowing me to then click on this object right here. Click enter. All right. And then it deletes it out for us. So this is a nice way to clean this out. The other questions that came up with wood floorings are, what if I don't want it running left to right? Like in this scenario, this is good because honestly, left to right helps make the room feel wider, which is kind of nice psychologically. But if you wanted to change it in other rooms, you would click on the flooring pattern, right click, hatch edit again. And then this time the angle, you would switch to 90 degrees. So right here where it says angle, I typed in 90. You say okay and see how it's just switched it that way. I'm going to control Z back to there. But some folks did play with sort of the angle depending on the width and length of their side rooms here. Another thing we talked about in class is what happens here. So if this is hardwood, so like say for example, I'm going to trace this out really quick here, here, here. So it's basically what happens at the junctions of rooms with different kind of floorings. So let me just kind of fill this guy in quick here. So this would be the hallway. I'm still going to have wood come into here probably. And so if I go like that, all right, so um, technically though, what's gonna happen is right here is what's called a threshold. So if you're going from wood into a bathroom, there's gonna be a nice piece of stone or marble here that's gonna form basically the floor of where your door sits in the door frame. So that's gonna be a threshold area, that's gonna be marble. Technically though, if like say for example, this is all gonna be hardwood, this wood is just gonna flow all throughout the house. So I would actually make my shapes like I would start here for the bedroom, like here, and kind of make my way around that way and kind of like enclose it all. So I'll pause in a minute just so you can see what that looks like. If, for example, though, this is carpet in here, again, there'd be another threshold here. Usually, if it's wood to carpet, like if there's wood in the hallway and then carpet in the bedroom, we'd have a nice wood threshold here. And that would basically help keep the carpet from fraying, help you from like having tripping hazards, things like that. There are some other solutions we'll get into when we get to materials class. But I'm going to pause here and just catch up so you can see sort of what a finished one should look like. Okay, so one of the things we talked about in class too was that back when you would hand draft this, you would not color in where the doors are. Now, the mechanics of how CAD does hatching makes that complicated. Like I said, if we were to outline all these doors, that this hatch pattern gets really kind of messy. So a lot of times what I've done in sort of like nicer designs when I'm drawing them for a client is what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically do like what we did with the island. I'm going to take a rectangle. I'm going to go here and then I'm going to click on my pattern, right click, hatch edit, and then I'm going to add that object. So add that door and then have it minus out. So say okay. And then it kind of cleans it up. Now here on these bifold doors, unfortunately, what you're going to have to do is get a polyline and do it individual panel by individual panel because the way that kind of angles does make things a little wonky for CAD. So again, though, once I've drawn this first door, I'm going to copy, I'm going to paste it over here, and I'm going to do the same for the other side. So let me do that quick so you can see what that looks like. So again, I'm just tracing over this door here. If you've used the same doors all throughout your house, you can obviously copy and paste a lot of these rectangles too. So you don't have to keep drawing them from scratch. Sometimes it's just as quick to draw a rectangle though here. So this one we're going to say click on. So I'm clicked on the hatch pattern. I right clicked, I click hatch edit. And now I'm going to add select objects. Now I can add all four at once. I'm going to click that one, just make sure it lights up that one, that one. All right, so hit enter. And then that does clean that up nicely. So we can visually read that a little better. Another thing to watch for is, okay, over here, this flooring really is rolling right in here. I did this room first and then I realized, oh yeah, I want wood here too. So I'm going to click on this border, kind of delete it out, click on that border. So you can see that it looks like it just flows. One thing I want to make sure I do though is have basically an actual line drawn here. So it doesn't look like the wood just kind of floats right there and stops. So I'm going to put that here. And then again, I want it on that green layer because the pink is our def point. So I'm going to say match properties, go back over here. Same idea up here, because if I'm going to put carpet here, this piece of material right here is wood. That's going to be a threshold for me. So again, same idea. Draw the line over here. Actually, right now, I can just put it right on that layer. And we're going to go from here to here. And then if I have carpet in here, that looks nice and normal. But then this way, the way the person is going to install this, there's not going to be like a break there. They're going to run that wood straight through and make it look like a nice straight run. All right, so I'm going to pause this or stop this here. This is what we covered in class together. So for homework, what's due is basically for you to finish drawing this plan and do whatever cleanup you need to do. We're going to review it together in Thursday's class. So there may be some things that went a little haywire for you. It's fairly common for hatching to go a little haywire in CAD. So I will help you troubleshoot in class, but make your best effort to filling up all these rooms. Again, remember bathrooms must have tile, mudroom may be tile, bedrooms and the rest of your house. Generally, we're doing hardwood or carpet. If you have another idea that you want to do, certainly you can kind of hatch it in and we'll just review on Thursday together. All right, hope that helps, and feel free to email me if you have any questions too.